Welcome back. In the previous video, we briefly explained how internet works. So this is where we ended. So when you send the request, for example, you want to visit youtube.com, right? And then you send the request, and then through the IPS, your internet provider services, and then DNS, and then it locates all the servers that have this unique youtube.com, and then it finds this server, and your server responds the result and then give back to the browser. So now let's look at how it's being displayed and how we can display to the user. So let's move to the next slide. Okay, so in this video we're going to talk about how does website works. So assuming that take this one as a browser, your browser here, and then you want to visit what is called youtube.com, right? So type in www.youtube.com. and then you click on next. So when you click next, like I said, it's go through this process, go and locate the server, and now we get back our data. So let's go ahead. So before we can even make a request to the server, we need browsers. So what is called Chrome browser will let you help access the internet, Firefox, Safari, Edge, and Opera Mini. So far my favorite one is called Chrome, right? So if you use the browser, this browser has built-in functions that can help you to display. So when you make the request to the youtube.com, the server gives you back some data and then it gives to your browser. So let's go to the next slide and see how it works. So assuming that you are here, you are the user here, and you want to visit youtube.com in the previous video, and then you send a request. This time around, let's quickly say, okay, now it has located this server, which contains youtube.com. And then this server responds, meaning give a response to your computer in the browser. And all what this server can return, give you, is called these three files. One, JavaScript, CSS, and HTML, right? It gives you back all these files. And then now your browser need to compile all this and then return the actual data to the user. So now that we know that this server is returning back these three things, this is the starting point to become a web developer. So you need to understand what the server sent, what this server sent, to understand the JavaScript language, HTML, and CSS. So what role does all these languages play before you can see youtube.com here? So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so now that we know we've got back the response, but what the server gave us is HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So how does all these things come together to make a website? That is all what we're going to discuss in this particular video. So let's take HTML. HTML is just like a skeleton, right? So for example, if you want to make a car, first of all, you draw some sketch. Okay, this car, I need a bonnet, I need a line, I need a tie, I need this, and then you made the skeleton out there. So when you made the skeleton, this doesn't look nice to the eye, right? So to be able to add some colors to make it more beautiful or handsome or whatever, the thing that makes that happen is what you call CSS. So CSS is like adding styles to the skeleton to make it more beautiful. But after you make it beautiful like this, for example, if you want a car to move, you want a car to blow horns, beep, 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 you want the car to do whatever, and this is done by JavaScript. So JavaScript is what adding interactivity to your application. As you can see here, from HTML, and then we add some style to it, and then we make it move like at a high speed like that. So now that we understand from what is web development until this point, and we know how these languages come into play to make a complete website, we are going to learn these languages step by step. First, you will learn something about HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Alright, so take some coffee and let's get started by writing or developing our first website in the next video.